Thursday's probably Wednesday. I wanted to talk to you myself. Hold
Could you bring the two?
You won't get some.
My clock says 6 p.m. Okay, are we okay? Yeah, I'm all ready to go. Oh, yeah. Okay. No one cheating. I think it's 1/4. I don't cheat. All right.
That's solid.
6 p.m. on June 24, 2025, the open special session for the board director of Coastal Metropolitan District. Go ahead, Jim. Okay, first I have GMS tank change orders. Let me go through what we've done on our side first. We got, Dale was able to get the PRV in. We got the line and the reserve tank up at one, but we do have a leak in it. So now we're trying to figure out how we're gonna get a patch or whatever. We're in communications with them. They sent us a patch kit, and then
Is that the problem? Is there no glue?
we
have to buy it.
spit on. So, and they don't tell you exactly what kind of glue because,
Proprietary.
yeah. We're going back and forth with that.
Andrew, does that affect your schedule at all?
Where is the hole? I didn't see a hole history.
It's under the bottom of it. If you look where we put the inlet, that ground is all there on the east side of it. So we thought there was two, but Greg and him were able to lift up enough to see. And we don't know if we end up filling it up with the 40,000 gallons. The fabric would hold it and just end up splitting and everything washing out the guy's house down below. So I know Andrew or Alex is working with it, and also Dale with the company trying to figure out what do we need to do now. Is it going to hold, or is it something that we need to patch now and move forward to make sure that we don't rip and blow out?
What's in that bottom corner?
It's probably more in the middle.
It's in the middle. And we don't know how far back. But, or how big.
So I got, Alex was unable to come down, but he's on Zoom, too, so I don't know, I know I put in your packets, all the emails back and forth and stuff that way. I know, Andrew did send in information on Friday. I know it was given to Alex on Monday, I believe, to review.
And he's on the office.
He was out of the office this month. Yeah. So, and I know he's kind of calling, it seems like they're in the room with somebody, but, that's where we're at so far with where we're at and where we're going, so.
Doesn't necessarily impact the schedule yet, because we're not on that site yet, we're still up on 3.
Okay.
I knew there would be things to iron out as it gets filled and flushed, and the SCADA boys and everything else that needs to get ironed out, so I'm not surprised by that. I assume they're gonna have to take, I don't know how much water's in there now, but there's a good amount of water in there, take it out, to flip it over, patch it, make it dry.
Hold it.
Yeah.
How long is it gonna take you guys to get to that tank? To be done with the ones you're working on and get to?
I mean, I can go down there when it's ready. My vision was that once we're actually able to get up on the hill on 3 to stay there.
Yeah.
But we're having a hard time getting everything up the hill. I've been pack muling hoses and pots in the back of the truck to get them up the hill. I didn't even dare try to get my trailers up the hill, so I left them all down the hill. I tried to drive compressors up there and I can't get up with them. So what I wanted to talk about, was options with the road, because I know Dale, the Schedule 2 guy, repaired it 2 years ago because that was part of his work. And then Mother Nature and winter and everything else has taken place, right? So I don't know the relationship of the neighbor, if that road on the backside of the hill is an option to try to mend that fence to make that right.
No,
I just saw 2 notes on that.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that answer was that answer 3 years ago, but I don't know where it went south, if that was an even option to repair that relationship.
We've tried to get a hold of the guy and,
was the previous district manager
yeah, and
on that bridge,
he won't do anything for,
Mr. Valdez.
he, had some issues with the guy and get him set on the property and that's why. Not rodents like that now instead of the way coming in the back. And it's pretty much overgrown. And I tried, when we started this whole project, sending letters and asking, for any new management, can we do something different? How can we make the road better for you? Because there used to be a trailer up on top there.
Yes.
Well, my understanding is he's not even, I don't.
No.
There's no, what we can do to grease the skids to make that relationship better, to be able to get up there to do the work, because as it sits right now, I'm getting wrong.
He hasn't even, he hasn't even called or left,
What's the slope on that?
The one right now is 20%.
Anybody how to use the code? It will, all that's the only thing that can do.
Yeah, so what Dale was supposed to do is make the road two-wheel drive accessible, right? And that was 2 years ago, so we did it, yeah, I know he worked hard to get it right, but then we were never able to get up there because of everything else. So, so the options are, I guess, would be to make that right. If we can't make that relationship right, then fortunately, the easiest way is off the table. Or Dale has to fix the road, or a helicopter will things.
I know Dale has to all put in that there too, so it's
Yeah, so
the communication with Dale. And well, I do need a chance to talk to him, I know Alex had a chance to talk to him, but I'll see what we can do. We'll see if there's some way. Your equipment is the trailers,
yeah, they're all
drag them up your crawler, with the crawler,
with what,
with the cat.
like a bobcat
Yeah, no,
or a skid steer?
Yeah.
Can you, are the roads such that you can get a trailer up them if you have a way to pull it?
I don't think so. I think the tracks on those, Caterpillars would tear that road up even more. It's so soft right now. We made one trip up with the telehandler by itself with no load. We got a little rain that day, and the next day we had been able to get up since. And the 4 times I tried yesterday, I was aggressive with it, and I had to back down the hill.
Helicopter doesn't sound attractive.
No.
No, I did inquire about it a year and a half or so ago, and it's like everything else, but you hear the word, it's expensive, right? And, I think we could get the compressors up, get all the abrasive up, and then of course get it down the hill is the next challenge later, but, I think it was like $55 for the bill.
That's, see if we can get Dale involved.
So those are the options. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk to
Fix it, see what we can do.
What I've been wanting to do since our last meeting is work on the handrail and sandblast the shell at the same time.
Build that road, Jimmer. Is that something we can talk to the county about?
No. That's strictly our,
I don't know whether they would.
Okay,
Quite engineers.
We can ask. See,
We trade about some work for some bulk water. Well,
see what we have.
gravel or water.
whichever thing you rather.
I don't think it needs to be the entire road. It's really just the belly on the pitch. It's not even the knuckle. It's like halfway up as you're going up. There's just a spot that's so soft that once you start digging, and I think those tracks on those caterpillars will just make it even softer, trying to pull something up there. And a truck of abrasive is 15 pallets, so that's 15 trips up and 15 trips back down, let alone what you're bringing up.
Which with that, Donnie, I asked him if we could station the pallets and stuff across the street, so that would be a lot closer and easier for him. Get to Aiden's meeting with Donnie tonight to see where it's at, what he doing, so that way, because we were looking at, I was looking at Cold Springs, that's still about a half mile down from the tank, so if we could get it closer, it'd save him in the mornings or whatever to haul up where he needs, and, might help him out. So that's one option, and we ended up finding a way around to help him. Like I said, you passed Kimball's Road, it was, Dave told me on it too, and said, hey, I did make it up the other day, but Dave,
This is the mother.
It's just like fine dust powder.
he used granite, chip granite or something.
So it decomposed.
To pack it in there, which was back pretty good, but with the rains you got and everything else. There's one area on it that there is nothing but rock where you stop in the valley of it.
So we could set up a winch on at the top of the winch things on it.
It's quite a one.
I know before they did the road. That was coming down and almost
What's
done the road.
About a mile long? How long is it, about a mile?
No, probably about 750 feet, 800.
So was that road passable after they fixed it?
Yes.
That
So
was-
it's deteriorated since then.
Yeah,
You could have gotten up there if the road was, if you'd done it when the road was fixed.
I would say yes, but I didn't try.
And we can fix it.
I didn't have to.
We can be fixed.
I don't think it needs to be the entire road. I think it needs to be something more compact in the center to allow us to get over that spot in the middle.
Sounds like that. Brought in the road, very important.
Need about 178 tons of gravel, put 6 inches in to build it up. Assuming the density of the mountain shadows gravel.
yeah, well, and the thing
That's
is,
about
if we use Mount Shadows gravel, I think it won't pack
good enough.
good enough and solid enough. That's why we ended up going with the decomposed granite, because it can interlock a lot better. So, yeah, we'll continue.
Isn't that good class 6 gravel that
Alex,
up there?
stick around. Alex is not here, sorry, Alex.
I've done tanks in basalt and Steamboat Springs where we're packing all stuff up, so I'm not afraid to do that, but there's a bare minimum amount of equipment that I have to get up there. Air. So if I can get compressors and telehandler out there, I'll take care of the rest. And we'll travel light, done it before. We've got a hand unload, abrasive. It's a lot of labor, but we'll do it because we've done it. There's essentials I have to get.
You might talk a little louder, because my mic's back there, so.
I'll say this, I've already said the same thing to Alex, but
Yeah, because I know next week we have Jensen coming down to put in the VFDs for that water tank and stuff. Hopefully we'll have figured out what we needed for the tank. And we're replacing the big pump in, Tank House that pumps water from 1 to 4. And that will be set up with the VFDs to run off that pump there and also keep our tank full, so that way we have full water around everybody. It's number one was our base. We did on the PRV, we tested it out. We put that top PRV in, we had 30 pounds.
No, the top PRV, we set the downhill side to 13 PSI. And we put in the new PRV that we just did last week. So at the fire hydrant prior, just 25 feet away from the new PRV. So the water coming out of the top is at 13 PSI. We are at 75 PSI or something like that, 75, 76. But anyway, coming down that hill, we gained 66 pounds. So we set the new PRV at just 2 pounds under the hydrant and on the downhill side. And then we went out to 181, put our test gauge on it. And when we first tested it, prior to this opening up, we were at 80 PSI. When we opened everything up and opened the north loop, we stayed at 80 PSI. So I mean, we're holding it back, but so I was really happy about it.
Anything else you want to add? I know Alex and you got to get together and go over the bills and your time chart and stuff like that. So if we could get something together and I can have it by Thursday or Friday, then we can have a special meeting because we might need a special meeting next week anyway. So that way we can go through all of this.
So again, I guess as far as a special meeting versus, Bob and Corinne being involved in that, we need a special meeting. We need a report.
Well, yeah, the board will have to vote on the extra for the change orders. We voted for the change orders up to the 250 that was there, but for any extra over
To the rest of it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Whatever we need to do.
GMS got my schedule and my breakout on the 13th.
So we holding you up now then, as far as actually, you're moving forward still, regardless of what we have going on.
I'm not making as much progress as I'd like to, but we'll work.
And the big issue for you right now is the road.
Yeah, we need to fix the road if I'm gonna stay on 3 or 1 or 2 is ready, I'll move again.
But we still need to fix the road.
You do,
We get you back to
but
two.
it's how quickly can that happen? Because obviously things have taken a couple weeks to get official.
Question for it? Anything else? Thank you for being here, Andy. That helps. We end up not knowing enough, but we're in the dark anyway. So I hope to have you here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, next, enforcement letter for sewer. I do have a meeting with, everybody tomorrow. We'll have Milko, which is basically our engineer for our sewer and water side of things. And, Gary and I and Dave Lewis and our lawyers all involved to finish up this letter that we need to give to the state to answer for all the stuff that they are saying that we have. One of the things that we had was our Equalite stuff. I sent in a thorough request to Provo County Health Department to get our records going back from 2018 to 24. It's going to be about a 10-day process. and get all these things and hopefully, we started with all of this and we wanted to make sure that all of our records are right. And so that's where we're at with that. The other thing, one of the other things is we do use the old lagoon. They're saying that they need to have more, knowledge of if it's leaking or not, since when they decommissioned it and cleaned it, they don't know whether they tore the lining in it or whatever. So we have to have a study done by engineers and stuff because it's on bedrock and that it isn't leaking into the river or groundwater. So that's another area that we're looking at. So there's a lot of variables that we need to actually asking for more time because they're asking for an engineering report and I report and all of that. The I report's gonna take me probably almost 6 months, a year to do a true I through all of our lines and everything else. The other thing is when we do find the areas that we do have bad sewer lines and stuff, either dig them up or line them. And it's might be 30 cents on a dollar difference from digging it up to lining them. So there's other options that I'll probably be coming to the board with on that stuff as we move forward in it. And hopefully we could just end up satisfying state and everybody by doing the ones that we find bad right away, the ones that are high priority. Right now, I think a lot of our I is coming from a manhole next to the river. That's the only time that we end up flooding in our sewer plant is when we have a big runoff coming down the river and it's found at a manhole or something and it's shooting straight into it. And with our manholes that are running along the river, some of them are very hard to find. They're in even the elk brush and stuff that it's just walking that line. And I know Greg has walked, I don't know how many miles in the last few weeks trying to find different ones. As soon as we start seeing that our.
When you say river, you mean 313?
Yes, okay.
The beaver.
Some days it's a river, some days it's a creek.
I'm aware.
Some days it's dry.
Some days it's dry.
Is that lining or leaking verification, is that going to be a requirement? Is that something you're gonna have to do?
It's either have that or line. So it might be cheaper, I'm gonna look at both ways and see which one is cheaper, and probably lining it be the cheapest way to go.
As opposed to paying for a study and then having the line change.
Yeah. That's what we were looking at, because what they'll do is they'll do a piezometer deal like we do on the dam where they go in and drill holes all the way around it to see if there's any watering into that. You know, that's gonna cost big bucks to have them drill.
So Jim, how did we get on the radar here? It appeared this was back in 2020, some of this was violations. One of the violations is failure to submit final report by December 31, 2020.
And I have the reports that I submitted, there was 3 reports on it, after that, they said, okay, so that has been sent up into the lawyer, so that she can turn around and say, yes, this is fair, here's the reports.
But we do have, they had the
Quarterly
file.
reports.
So then we have that's a legal claim, you know,
Yeah,
that's where Carolyn could get involved.
and that's why they're
The
involved.
proof that we did file those reports. So somehow, is that what got us on the radar, is them?
No, I think more reason we got on the radar is because of the IMI.
Is it because also at the state level, the change in personnel?
That too, yeah.
So I think that certainly somebody's gotta say something about fairness of the timeframes that they're throwing at us.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single board member here who was aware that this time bomb was out there.
Well, it's even me, because I got here in 2018,
Right.
they're going back past.
So all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go on the record and state that after reading the letter several times, I do believe the state is being unnecessarily rough on the Metro. This is almost purposely going out of the way to make impossible demands. And while I've dealt with city tuition planning during my career as well with Pueblo Health, who I hold in high regards, Chapter Oakland, has always been very, very, very fair on all the meetings I've had with him. The letter itself is unfair in the best of terms.
Understood, that, no doubt is the case, it could be the case, unfortunately, they're going to have the hand.
Yes, I agree.
I'd say that somebody told me that this woman that took over is if she's a real bulldog.
So that's why it's quite important, I guess, that we get our attorney involved.
Yeah, that's why I got them right off the bat. When they got the letter and then to the attorney, and let them know. Okay, so we go back on board. Okay, next, I put in there, they did come in and spray for the buttercup and all the other algae that was there. He came back and he said that our milfoil is coming back. It's been 3 years, they came back twice through the 2 years and, applied and stuff, that it cost us about $96,000. That was the last time when we put it on a payment plan. Well, he came back and he said, well, this time to spray the milfoil is gonna be $25,000. And we can still do it on it's give us a new 3-year guarantee on it. And we can pay it in, installments like we did, which I recommend we do. So that way we keep coming back to spray and if we see anything of it. Yeah.
Couldn't you tell them why it was so much the first time, 3 years ago, and why it's so much cheaper now?
Because our lake at that time.
We were
completely covered the lake.
It's just okay.
We had a pontoon boat out there. And they couldn't go 10 foot because it would wrap up in their electric motor and all of that stuff. And what Melify is the ducks will get in there and they'll eat on it, you know, that one piece of Melify, they'll tear it apart. Now I have 2 pieces that are growing. It's like a worm, you know, if you cut up a worm and it'll just keep making more. So I make the recommendation that we move forward with that. And I also had him ask what would grass carp do? And what he thought, how many are like,
Those are some expensive carp.
yeah, they were 1950 a piece. I don't know if we need 250 of them. But I know they did it back in the
early '90s. We put, I couldn't tell you, I don't know. But they were Chinese grass carp and they stayed there till they got huge and then people started catching them and that ended that.
Now what's the keep them? Catch them. Kill them, $20 fish.
yeah,
That's the plan. When you catch something like that, you kill it.
and the thing is it's something that we need to put out there. They need to be put back in to keep the ecosystem going. I know, they also have problems with it, you know, they eat eggs and stuff like the other fish that might be in there. I know I've got to make a call, I have to call into actually DOW and I need to ask them if they can bring it. I know they said that they brought a few in, but I don't know how many is a few. But I think this would help eliminate a lot of problems in the future too, because I don't think you ever have to spray the length
No,
before when the
What, it's a
carport.
newer merchant hotel.
Merchant line, it's also for $750 a pop.
So,
750 a month.
when they treated for the milfoil last time, they didn't treat the canal?
yes,
Yeah, they
They
did,
did treat the canal?
but it also is, we're getting treat the pond, the,
Golf
golf
course.
course pond. So we're gonna go that, we're going to canal the golf course pond, because ducks will land in the golf course pond and transfer it right back over to Lake Deck. So we need to take all the water release and get treat up there, get it melt type stuff.
So Jim, do we have, you did get a hold of DOW, you said?
No, I left a message with, Mr. Brown and also Mr. Parsons, and they haven't got back.
And then we don't really have, as far as authorizing payment for the car, we're not ready for that.
No,
Okay.
but as for the, treatment killing them, that was something that we want to do right away. Before it goes,
And the letter said it's aggressively.
yeah.
Jim, you just on keep the park somewhere?
Yeah, I'll have to see the sizes. I don't know if you can just toss them aside.
Well, you need to make sure they're sterile. too.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gotta be sterile.
And the thing
I'll
is,
check that part.
Yeah, that's it.
the
You gotta
state
look
won't
at it.
guarantee that because
Make
they
sure
can
that
be
it's-
produced and you're gonna have a lake, nothing but carbon.
I'll make sure they're all food.
Who does?
That might be another $10.
I thought more than that.
Other questions on that?
Okay, CCA review, there is a. What is it called? A shed. That is being asked for on 1544 Bruce Road. Oh, Bruce Road. I do, I didn't look at this one. Pull about my road, my road.
what is it? What's the address?
Bruce Road? Bruce Road.
Does that even have anything to do with us?
Is it even in Colorado City?
Yeah. I'm trying, it's in, I think it's in unit 29. That's by us in your area.
Okay, let me find my roads.
Excuse me, Sandy, what number?
Okay. Okay, so it's Stanley to implement. Just out of the building, so, and then off of Becker. So it's. So that's. It's kind of. Come on. Stanley. Catch that first guy.
Yeah.
It goes up and goes out to Jody Lane, and instead of going to Jody Lane, back to the stands.
Yeah, I've got a vague idea.
Basically, what we're looking at is, it looks like it's 4 poles and 2 cross poles on it. For the design. 5 poles.
So it looks like it meets all the. setback as well.
And he doesn't have a house on the property, so.
Did I read that they include the fence?
Yeah, we're still, that's, yeah.
Open fence.
Pretty cool.
Open water. fence. Question for it?
8 by 5.
For the dogs to lay.
So you get sunburned.
He's making a payment for.
Okay.
So that's the question. 8 by 5. It's gonna have a roof on it? Well, then that's the whole part.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
any other questions?
No.
Well, they're gonna put me in there.
Yeah, kind of. Think should have some time to match up.
Okay. The order of business of the board to be conducted in the most effective and expeditious manner, with the method that all persons present can adhere to civility for the board, staff, and each other. Conduct or fear of threatening or aggression will not be tolerated. Shouting, speaking out of order, or using offensive gestures, similar are not acceptable. Such behavior shall constitute the forfeiture of your right to remain in attendance unmade, as the point of order brought before the attention by council or any board member, including the chairperson, resulting in being asked to leave the meeting by the chairperson or, for no refusal, you must go out of the meeting by proper authority. Mr. Carr,
Nobody
I
signed
didn't
up.
say anything.
you're the public, so we're ready.
Nobody signed up.
God. Okay,
Come on.
I didn't even bring my list with me.
There we go, man.
I have to take care of my wife for right. Okay, oh, Beaver.
They still haven't called me back on that, Mr. Carnes asked if he could travel, so that was one of the calls that I had into, Mr. Brown and Eric Simeon, is to see if he can travel and go in that way.
I'll put up my shoes and whatever. I'll sit out there and wait for him to come out.
See what can happen. So, as long as you sign the release thing, they do not, but, we want to get an answer from him first.
I've got killer traps, I got a leg trap. I trapped for 20-some years.
But it's not season.
Huh?
It's not season, is it?
Well, no, it's not trapping season, but if they're a nuisance to you, you can usually get rid of them. And like you told Jim, if you tear their dam apart, I mean, I don't know if you guys have any experience with beaver before, but they'll rebuild a dam and nothing flat. I mean, they will. So you're just gonna have the problem all over again. You know, you take away their dam, they're gonna dam it right back up. They'll start on the same day.
So that's one of the reasons, hope you'll be able to. Okay. All right, that's what I'm gonna get an answer back to. And Dennis, he was there when I called him. And they still haven't called back.
He's not very reliable, is he?
I don't know. This time of the year, they're trying to trap bears and everything else. What else?
That's all for now. I didn't bring my list. I know it's disappointing, but
Have you, seen any other areas of crossing 165 where people are out doing it, or have you found any other areas?
other than the one I talked about, the only other area was down here by Ace Hardware, but the people that live there get off 165 and drive across the ditch there. You know, but there's no way to get out of that. They're the ones that shoot me out for even looking at it. I really didn't care what they thought, because they built the road anyhow. That's the only place I know of that made any sense at all.
I know if you deal with it, with anything with the state, it's going to be better off asking for forgiveness than.
Well, it's already being used.
It is being used, so we are, right now, we have to do, they can, by using anyway. So,
Yeah.
it'd be best if we could find some place to encourage them to go to, but that's not so.
Other than going through, I found a couple places it's going through private property and you get into all kinds of legal messes there, so.
Well, that actuality, that crossing up there that they're using is going to private property. That's how you go into it. They go, there's no crossing to private property to get to 165 at the end of the cul-de-sac. But
According to my GPS, it wasn't private property, it was all, city property.
I don't think they follow the street very well.
I mean, you go right across there, right across 165, and that's where the circle is, the cul-de-sac. I mean, it just goes right directly into it after the ditch. So,
Well, maybe that's still working.
yeah. I mean, all they gotta do is put up a couple of signs, and like I said before, they put up signs warning for deer for 5 miles, Why can't they put up 2 signs, saying ATV crossing?
The deer probably use the signs just as well as the ATV routes.
I think they do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, anything else?
Sorry to disappoint you.
All right, I close the study session, open the meeting, the board of directors, City Metropolitan District, meeting June 24th. Six orders to them, John, what do you think?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join the moment, start reflecting if you so choose. Let the minute show we have a full quorum, all those in the session. And again, approval of the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Move in second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We have adjourned.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for study session, regular meeting June 10th, 2025, and the CCACC minutes June 10, 2025.
Second. Move in second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And bills payable.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to pay the bills. Second.
Move in second. Discussion? Question? Question? The gas bill? The call, yeah, the natural gas bill. On the back page. There's a charge for the pool, 3,187. I'm just curious about, don't know how the natural gas is used in the pool, it's just an education. It's good heat and water. You drain that pool and we fill it in May. Get that, our drinking water up to the 68 degrees. That's a one-time cost to us, it's a pool kind of thing.
It's probably about 2 months, Bob, if you look under your 5,000 and over bills. We always put a spreadsheet for any of our utilities that show the last month, the last year, and the current month billing. So it's in line with last year's billing for this time of the year.
Okay, and I was just curious, I don't know how the pool operates, is this gonna be a recurring during the pool season? Yeah, every May. It's every May, and that, what kind of a May and June, July? No, it's just a startup cost.
But it will be, there will be a big number, a bigger number.
Yeah,
For each month.
but it isn't this way.
Yeah, right.
Usually it's about $1,200.
And I noticed that the golf course mate, the golf course clubhouse, $119.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Windows are.
Windows are-
All of it.
All that financial ratings matter. Anybody else? Ferguson Water Works. Ferguson Water. For the annual. That is for Neptune meters. Did we ever get them to forgive part of their fee or do anything about actually the problems that we had with the meters and with Neptune? Yeah, they have. I just can't remember what we had. Was that all? I know there was like 40 meters. And, I know they sent them in. Pretty sure they sent them in to get a Neptune guy come down. The only thing is now
We went from Core Main to Ferguson, now that handles Core Main. So I'll have to catch on whether they gave us any credit on it or not. Because I know problem that they said is, well, they froze, and that's heard of. Well, what do you think? You have meters during winter time in mountain areas, and you're recommending these meters. They should. Okay, yeah. That bill, that's kind of a different issue, but the bill, that's just our annual. That's our maintenance and. That's subscription. And, 20-volt tool and skeleton screws for, I guess, the Parks and Recs for $377.
The Lowe's.
Is it okay?
E-safe is the $340. Yeah. 20-volt, so, yeah. It's stuff that we need.
Why?
Because it can help with the drill. You and they probably their drill. They had it inside the here. That's the place. Josh does a lot of building.
Yeah, I got, and then on the last page, we have, 3 inches much for board.
Yes, no, not for board. It was for, it was professional day for the girls here in the office, so it took them too much.
Okay, it wasn't for the board.
No.
Okay. I was wondering if I missed.
Because you were upset.
You know, I'm sad about you were invited. So,
I understand.
One of the best burgers ever.
Then we have to, did we buy a Hyundai camp for Paycom?
yes.
Yeah, for last meeting, when I showed up, actually, they all thanked us, they said it was the best one they've had in a while.
We,
For $375?
yeah.
Which one first?
You said 20 to 25 people.
Did we get our piggy points?
Yes, we will.
There, that's good, see? That's good management right there.
So basically, we only do it one time per year, as far as everybody rotates out. So it's part of,
So who supports Paycom? Isn't that Pueblo County?
No.
No.
Everybody.
it's everybody.
We have a membership that we pay every year of $500 that needs to be parked. Then we got to buy lunch.
Do we get $375 worth of?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
The MMO
Especially-
websites are out,
And
that's the
especially,
business.
especially now that we're losing it, it's, looks a lot better.
Okay. All right, that's all I got. Anybody else? No other questions? Let's go pay the bills. Green,
Yes.
Clint,
Yes.
Bob? Yes. Ray,
Yes.
and Chair votes yes.
The next year financial. If you look at, the rain has hurt us a little bit on our water sales. This year we're at 178,000. Last year we were at 260. So, not everybody was watering grass or anything, and this year, that's why our tanks have continued to stay full. Except for last week, we went through a little bit more water than the hot weather.
Yeah, we're still doing 500,000 a day.
So it hurt us quite a lot, 39,000. Is
But
that,
it's okay. All right. I just got confirmation we're gonna get the PFAS from DuPont, and they had called me the other day and had to verify our checking account and stuff to drop the number.
the other issues on with doing some of it, but one was, the last 3, March, April, May, for Rye, the thing was more faster.
Because our meter, they're fixing it. The meter that reads the deal, so we used an average of what they used last year and this year and the year before to get that reading as to what it is. The optic guy in it that went out, we had to send Teledyne sent it back, we reprogrammed it, the last meeting we got on it, took it over a week or not.
That's not gonna continue.
No,
It's
no,
gonna
we're,
correct.
we're gonna be correct.
Board,
Is it now that we ask how many meters we've installed, or is that? Pardon me. Sorry, Rick.
You put on raised tones.
That's not your fault,
I did ask Christie about some of the payroll issues on our financial report, and it is because of the payroll, we haven't gotten the payroll info back from paychecks. Okay,
But all our other line items are within reason with, well, the way audit's expected.
line on some of the receipts, but, yeah. Understand. All right,
We, within this last week, we sent out ALS bill last week. So Sandy has been bombed with ALS calls all week long, so it's, sometimes and it's usually the same people every year asking the same question. And you say, hey, yeah, you rebuild it this every year. What is it for? You get a bill once a year for that.
Did we send bills to the general manager statement report?
Yes, we did. It was kind of hit just perfect because all of his bills, I was able to copy them and send them to the lawyer. And it shows that he hasn't paid either last year's or this year's or probably the year before. Because I think he bought all these properties, was looking through them, it was from like Colorado Trust or something, and he bought all these properties or picked them up out of tax lien sale. And I was trying to get it back.
Okay, thank you.
operational bill,
Operational, all I have is like Becca, the report there for the 12th and the 19th. Like I said, it's staying pretty even all the way across. We were high in the rear side of it, just because of the rain that we had, last week, it kind of dried out. All that, and as for our zerometer readings, they're staying within 0.2 of each other. So there's no big variance in that. As for other community reports,
so, committee reports, well, any movement on the golf course draft process?
Haven't heard anything.
haven't heard anything back from her at all myself.
Have you called her or anything? When do what do you expect there?
Probably in the next few weeks, we should be hearing something. We should submit it at least two. So,
Yeah, we paid it, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we need to, we expect some kind of, well, I don't think we do.
Did she, was it a one bill, partial?
Yeah, yeah.
1,100 or something,
I'll have to check.
a month or so ago. Part of the first installment of the 3,300.
Yeah. Okay, we'll be looking for a report there. Newsletter.
Well, I have a draft.
Yeah, you're ahead of it. And then, bring you on something about the, progress on tank.
Andrew and I are gonna talk after, because I just wanna make sure that the issue we have with the leak, it's not gonna affect the critical path, and beyond that, talk about the road.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Go ahead.
Alex is online too, listening to me, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I understand from the emails and from Andrew that the schedule provided to Alex at least, I know there's some things hanging up. If it's not gonna be a while for them to get back to us, could we at least look at the draft that he's looking at as well? Alex, did you hear that? Alex?
I'm happy to send what I sent Jim as one.
Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, is it possible to even get the schedule at least? Or,
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you well.
Hey, good. I was just going to respond. I agreed with what you said earlier. We should be able to have a preliminary answer quite by Thursday. Andrew and I are scheduling a time tomorrow. I know he has some other engagements tomorrow, but we're trying to sit down and talk through some of those numbers. So we should have a preliminary answer fairly quickly right after we do that.
Okay, and we'll look at the draft schedule while we're waiting for the numbers.
Well, what we're looking to is, do you have the draft schedule that he gave you that we can, send out to the board in the meantime?
No, I don't have a draft at this time that I can send, but I could probably prepare something by the end of this week.
No, just the schedule of what he was looking at, the timelines for our guys getting stuff, making sure that we can get stuff put in and ready to go. That was what we have more concerns with, is if he's looking at tank three being up there for a week or a week and a half, you know, is that gonna, and he's looking to be down at tank one, is that going to be in line with what we need to do? You know, that's what we're looking at.
I think I understand what you're asking. As far as the schedule, uh, that's going to be mostly the responsibility of the contractor. As far as he knows how fast his crews are going to work and how much time is going to be required at each of those sites. Since we're going to be possibly needing to pivot from tank three to some of the others, if he can't get his equipment up there, there's a couple unknowns in there. But as far as how long each of his crews is going to take at the different tanks, going to be for the contractor to put out.
Well, and I think that's what he already set up that schedule, kind of thinking, tank three coming back to one, after getting most of three done on the outside, come back to one to finish it up, or hopefully getting all that in there. So that's what we're looking at, is if we can just get his basic schedule, what he was looking at, so I can keep my guys in line and moving forward to get these things taken care of.
Yeah.
Bob, did you get an answer?
No, I don't think I did. And to be specific, whatever Andrew turned in as a schedule, I'd like to see that now and not wait for the rest of the package, even knowing it might change. So we can have some insight to the things Jim has said, plus give a sense of interrelationships and dependencies, even if things change. Knowing the dependencies is part of what we want to understand.
Precisely. Thank you, Bob. And that's actually the way, and pardon me if I am misrecalling something, but the way I understood it was that Andrew was supposed to send the schedule, which has been done, and then it was going to be reviewed, and then the last step, just following all the stakeholders, was that our team was going to make sure to see it and make sure that there were no dependencies that they have to, for example, flush something or coordinate with the SCADA guy, so that when we're sitting here in a month, we don't have, well, yeah, we were all going fine and dandy, but Andrew couldn't make it up the hill, and then Greg forgot draining the tank, and then we all went on vacation. So, and that's, it's going to be a point of frustration for me, because I see that things started happening and they got snagged along the way. I don't know why, but has been sent. So, if could it be possible to see Andrew's schedule and then copy me and Bob on it, please? I guess let's have our team already start giving input on it, because I don't want you to mobilize for a third time. What I'm trying to get to. So
Yeah, we went to 3 to 5 times to let 1 and 2 get ironed out, right? So now that we have the snag on 3,
yes,
I'll move again, if we have to, right, to figure out the road for 3, once we're ready on either 1 or 2. I don't care which one we do first, but keep moving, right? Is the goal is to make progress. Right? There'll be a leak, there'll be a fight about, there'll be something that happens.
Jim, can I say something?
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, Alex, please.
Just to respond, I apologize. I can't see your name from the Zoom
Kareem.
video here. Kareem. Hi, Kareem.
Hi.
I have a bit of a question is for Andrew as well. I have not been sent a schedule of times and dates. Was that, Andrew, was that part of the email that you sent us with some of the supporting documentation?
They were both attached on Friday the 13th. I sent to Jason.
Okay, yeah, I don't see a schedule in there.
Why don't we have Andrew just send it to all of us directly from there?
Yeah,
Okay,
We can work that out tomorrow and get something to you.
All right, that'd be great.
It's not a fancy Gantt chart. It's an Excel sheet.
we can work with it.
I said it could be crayons on a napkin. I don't know.
What I did was each task and days for each task. That's what I.
We'll be looking to see dependencies so we can determine.
Yeah, I italicized the different parties that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
I just wanna report that I had, I was looking to see if I had a leak in my house because my water bill was so high. Dang Metro. And, anyway, the guys that came out were very professional. They came out quickly. We did a flow check, checked my meter to see how accurate it was. Turns out, I might be giving the Metro a little bit of extra money, but not too much. Maybe a couple bucks a month. Could buy me a burrito someday.
Well, we invited you to lunch.
But I just wanted to say the crews were professional and prompt, and I thank them for that. And I want to ask you how many meters they got put in these last 2 weeks.
They didn't get any last week.
Yeah, I talked to them at the point when we had that little meeting at my house, and they said that all the what I would call low-hanging fruit is done. So all that we can do now is stuff that requires shutting off, getting up jackhammers.
Actually, they did install one meter
Did they? Oh,
on the corner of Verde.
oh, good.
They had Joe and Matt had a new build house in, so actually.
But it wasn't a replacement.
No, it wasn't a replacement, it was a new one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good, but good crew.
And they have another brand new one going in tomorrow too.
So come to your question, I think, so if they have all the low hanging fruit now, that doesn't give them an excuse to stop.
Oh, no. Well, one other good thing is Aiden's back. He's kind of on a little bit light still. He has to watch what he lifts and that kind of stuff. But at least he's back supervising, and I'm not doing double duty. Good, and Greg's not doing double duty yet. You know.
So approximately how many meters have we had fluctuation?
I think last I know was like 6. We're at like 100. Started this in one and over the last month and a half, I think we ended up knocking out about 30, 45.
That's good. I think we need to get on, we continue on. I think Clint's anxious to get that water off.
Yes, I am.
And you want me to give us another report? We have one user off of the ranch. He got his well permit. We went out and checked it, Greg and I today. He had it into his well, cut our line, capped it, and now just need to find where the other line goes into the other side. So that way we can cut them off.
So progress all around.
We're progressing all the way. Little steps, but hey,
Baby steps.
you know, one day it's gonna be Christmas and we're gonna have all these presents.
That's not smart.
That they're all done.
Any other committees hanging out there? I think that's good.
Those are Beckwith Dam, projects out here, or is that gonna be an old business?
Let's put that in a little business.
Okay.
I don't, you can update now. Are you,
Your call, Mr. Chairman.
go ahead.
Okay. We met yesterday, district manager Bob and I went over it. Several things stuck out. Tim reached out to them to request a meeting as per my request. We will be having it at some point this week. I just want to see Jim's availability. I'll make myself available. Long story short, and especially after today's email, I am fairly convinced I want to talk to them about their price. Definitely, because if they have 90% plans, the price that they're requesting is, frankly speaking, absurd. Nevertheless, I want to talk to them and see where that's coming from. And on that same vein, I would like to discuss with the board the possibility of when we move forward for that project, to move forward as a best value modality versus best price. I think we learned throughout the course of many projects, not just in the district, but in the county, the state, federal level, and there's no shortage of examples, that which you buy for cheap, you usually pay for later on twice as much. That's why I'm a fierce proponent of best value. And I would believe that this is a prime example of one which the Metro District could greatly benefit out of it. There are some steps, and key among them will be understanding the state dam engineer permits best value contracts in these projects. Me doing a basic Google search yesterday, it seems to say yes. I just don't know what strings attached there are to it. Usually different funding sources, whether state or federal, carry different conditions, but it would seem that it's a prime candidate. So, and should that be the case, we would have to request from the engineers the 90% package, which they've uploaded to Drive. I have not had a chance to go over the designs. Have them sign, seal, and then move forward to retain an owner's rep so that we can move forward with a best value. I can easily, and if the board would like, I can go into details of what that is. Prepare a small list of bullet points as to what best value contracts are versus best price, what are the drawbacks, what are the advantages. The main advantages on a best value change orders. I've never, in almost 20 years of being in the construction business, have I seen an contractor initiated change order that, because 90% of the time they bring their own engineer, but they say, well, there's an engineering fault, you just turn it right back to them, throw it and say, no, it sounds like you should have done a better design to begin with. All the change orders I've ever seen on best value projects are owner initiated, and because most of the people around the projects here don't want to go through that, because they'll have to explain to the board why we're encumbering more money. I believe that best value is the way to go, but that's
good to really feel like, I think when we started in the RGH, I think they have one. Regardless,
Yeah.
when you say we're gonna talk with them, you mean RGH.
yes, RJ, sorry, the engineer, absolutely.
Tracy and Bob,
Yeah, Tracy.
Bob's the owner of this.
Okay.
One of the,
And are we gonna kind of nail into the post there as far as expectations?
and looking at the new contract in one, what they want for the new contract, which was like another $200,000.
Do they understand that we're reluctant to give them a new contract?
Oh, we will end up at home.
We're reluctant not, I personally, we're reluctant not to be part of it. Okay. Question for you? Any questions for the Beckley Dam project?
I just shared that I have a lot of interest with that value contract versus other times, and I want to go through it, and it's definitely a lot more control, financial, and very, very well done.
That's a lot of help. Anything else? Any other comments for it? All right, then let's go ahead.
Okay, attorney's report, I sent that out to you guys on a confidential. I'd like to take that for the next meeting as a, executive session to review this, to be able to discuss it with them and go forward. Next, we have agenda items. Change order. If you guys want to table that until our next meeting. So, and hopefully we can have that all ready for maybe a special meeting next week.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to table the change order that we've been discussing tonight, till, next meeting.
Move in second. Questions? Let's go. Hunt,
Yes.
Vern,
Yes.
Joe votes yes, Bob, yes, Ray,
Yeah.
tabled.
Okay, next on the, agenda items is Colorado Pond and Lake quote. Like I said, you have, the quote there, it was 28,000 or $25,607.50. If you want, to do some more research on the, fish,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the Colorado Pond and Lake quote, $25,607.50. Second.
Moved in second, questions?
you wanna make that in 3 installments?
I thought that was,
As part of the quote.
The total quote is that, but
yeah,
Yeah, with the-
specific in it. Well,
yes, it is. It's, delivery date would be 7/24 and, you can invoice it in 3 installments. On that quote.
So I'll make a motion that we approve.
Will you withdraw your first motion and
Was it
restate it?
second? Draw my first motion. I'll withdraw my second.
Go ahead, man.
Make a motion to approve the Colorado Pond and Lake quote, $25,607.50, all in 3 payments. And I'll second that.
Moved in second, now any questions?
Just, that does not include the sterile car. And,
Other questions? Just as a discussion then, we are going to get a quote from them on the fill, and we're gonna.
I'll see if you can get it down there.
And
And we'll look,
for DOW.
yeah, and I gotta get some information from DOW as to if they have any problems with us doing it.
Would they, do you have to have, knowledge of how many we could have?
That was the SMP. I can ask them. DOW if there is any, amount.
Anything else, Work? Let's go. Lynn?
Yes.
Bob? Yes. Ray?
yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Okay, old business, like I said, ranch, we, have one user off, we're looking for the other. So we're making headway there. Meter change out, last 2 weeks have been tough getting everything done, but, we haven't had one, we've had a couple new ones put in. Water loss, we're still developing, strategies on that. Wages being very, we talked a little bit, not really got into the bones of it. Water survey and leak detection, as soon as we get our meters in. Dam, we dealt with it. Green and Bob and myself, and we're waiting to set up a meeting with them. As for the wall repair, I haven't heard anything back from Ken yet on that.
What will be the timeline on the plot
For
for well repair?
I know he's busy, and I talked to him 2 weeks ago. He was looking at bringing in a schedule. I will give him a call again tomorrow and see if he has put us into the schedule. These guys, I don't know. Like I said, I used to work with Tom, and Tom, they try and catch their emergencies, which we're not in an emergency for it, but we need it fixed.
It's been going on quite a while.
That's I go. It's been a year since they did it and lost the Baylor.
Anything else? Any moves on our AOS group?
They did file yesterday on it. They filed their reply or whatever. Like I said, we pulled all the bills together on it. It came right at about $7,300.
They get $200 more, they went into a civil case because maximum $7,500. So when you say they, who do you mean they? Our lawyers. Our lawyers, so we filed a reply. We filed a reply. Okay. And, Daniel took care of that yesterday. And we looked at it as trying to go to civil, and I was saying, well, we have lawyer fees in there too. So is that going to take over the 7,500 if we ask for lawyer fees? From that point, they're looking at it in the same aspect is, okay, we're gonna file this, now when it comes down to going to small claims, wait a minute, this is no longer small claims. They're saying to dismiss it. So I don't understand, you said when they file a reply, did they file a reply as a small claims, you mean? Or it does the small claims as a dismissal due to statute, all of the things that we had in place, this resolution of the district. But if they do that, just a reply and dismiss that, we don't get attorney's fees. No. Wouldn't it be more advantageous for us to let go to court and get attorney's fees? What we're looking at. Either way. It's up to the judge. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Board? Well, I'd just like to get a refresher, the topic of wages here, remind me what that's about. What it is when we have our guys test for, water or sewer certifications, that they get a increase in pay. And right now, I think the first bump is like 12.5 cents. You take the test. And we're remembering.
Pass the test.
Yes. Listening to what we on board. Concerned by the board member at the time that the salary numbers were too low. Yeah. And concerned about retaining your staff and that kind of thing. Just concerned about the longer we take to get to do something with that. Well, right now, our guys are in training to take the test. That's one of the bills we pay is Foxworthy. He comes down, he's a trainer, he's training them for collections and distribution. And, we're trying to get that in there before they test as to, what we're looking at. Because I think.
Tons of books, we bought tons of books.
Yeah.
But they're no good if you don't open them.
Yeah.
Right. I know that, right?
And so the sort of apply to the outcome of what we're doing now. Yeah. So we need to get to it before it becomes a problem.
So I think I agree, with Mr. Siebert. I would just, can't act on it tonight, but I would just, float the idea that anybody who tests up in the meantime until you guys get that ironed out, retroactive pay increase. So that they don't delay getting licensure until you make a decision.
Yeah. Remember part of the conversation was too, they get their licensure, and this is what we do for them financially, now they have so much. Yeah. And so, as I heard, you suffered that before, we suffered that before, so I'm just wondering what we can do to try to move on this. That's a lot of it too, is, I asked Mr. Coulter to come in and get us some of the pay ranges around us as to what we haven't, and did call into plan too, is like A to G, find out any pay ranges for our guys.
Scott might have a good idea too.
Yeah, Scott's been on vacation for 2 weeks, so.
Oh, I thought it was for the summer.
It might be.
Yeah.
That's you.
We gotta invite him to come down and play golf today, maybe. Karen, since this was a topic prior to bringing on the board, would it be okay if we got with Jim and got educated on this? Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. That education stuff, good stuff. Wish I could remember it. That's good. Absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else, Coach? Okay. New business. New business.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a comment. I don't know for those of us, junkies that follow the Board of County Commissioners and City Council, et cetera. Today, the Board of County Commissioners voted 2-1 to terminate the IPA with Building Regional, initiating a 6-month transitional process in which the county will exit its participation within Building Regional and form a county building inspection, which should begin with their procedures of inspecting, assuming the duties of Building Regional within the county areas outside of the city, beginning on January 1st, 2026.
If you guys, I know I invited you late and stuff, but April and Bob went into the public hearing that they had. It was videotaped, it is on, Polo, website, Polo County website. So if you wanna look, and it did show the schedule as to how they wanted to do this and stuff to get more clarification. If you wanted to view it now. So they are going to move forward with that.
And then, bringing up an issue that we had discussed previously that we would like to talk in session, it's about the meeting, we held on June 30th at 2 p.m. in the county offices pertaining to Metro District County meetings. Mr. Chairman, that I believe that previously being part of this board, Terry Kraus was assigned to participate. I received an invite from the commissioners via email. I don't know if that's just was extended to all of us. I saw your email, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if somebody else is, so how would the board like to proceed? If there's concerns pertaining to sunshine law, the meeting, because it does have more than one commissioner on it, will be accessible to the public and recorded, so it will meet the qualifications for the sunshine law. So it wouldn't be an issue if 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 board members were to show up. I just wanted to get direction from the board or discuss it here now before I move without everybody's consent.
I was under the impression, Mr. Chairman, that we had assigned Terry Cross to represent Colorado City.
Yeah.
Is that still the?
That's still with the, as it stands, yes.
Okay, so, I don't know how that works with you, Kareem. But I mean, I would go and sit in the audience. I don't have to sit in the dais.
There will be a public meeting, so yeah, there can be an audience. Now, the audience doesn't speak up. So and I think that the purpose that we have, we need one voice. So we need to not all be speaking up. We need to allow one voice to speak up, to represent us.
So you would recommend that we communicate individually with Mr. Kraus
That's right.
and,
I have talked to him the last week or so, he's actually asked about what were the big issues. I think that same issues have been around for quite a while. For both of our new board members, these issues have been going on for some time, some of these issues, and I think that Terry has experience of the round table from the previous administration, or the previous sheriff, and I think that he can probably help move around that. He also would like to make a presentation to the board after the meeting as being the liaison or arbitrator or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's wise. I think that we need to be careful that we're not all basically disrupting the meeting by making our own personal points. And that's what we get called to do. And I think Terry can do the job of representing us there. So as far as going to the meeting, I would recommend water. Here's just going all, let it go. Now, they probably will have a comment section somewhat like we do here, and there wouldn't be anything wrong with making comments at that point. But they will control that probably. It won't be part of the meeting process. So if we have selected, chosen Terry or acted in the past.
well, we have done that.
To do that, and I think that, because of that, we need to honor that and move forward. If we find that doesn't work, we can change it. But currently, I think we need to move forward.
And that's on that Tuesday at 2, Monday.
The 30th. I do think actually that, and I emailed all of the consistent ask to correct some addresses and email. But I think we should send it all, you know, with a lot of people. And I did also ask her to make sure that sheriff's department and health department and regional areas would be there. They need to have people who can, I really, what our towns are.
I wasn't part of the decision was made. I will honor the board's decision, whether it was I sitting and voting or not. The only comment I would like to make is that if we expect the elected officials on behalf of the county to show up and give input and listen to our grievances, I believe it should be the voice that elected to make it. So if Terry is the messenger for it, that is okay. In any case, I believe that will open the door for the county to start saying, you know what, the Metro District chose a messenger, and there's no reason for the three commissioners and the sheriff and the county manager and the county attorney to be present. They can designate a talker. And then at that point, we're just gonna go further down the chain of, let's elongate the chain of communication. And at that point, you're diminishing the powerful message that should be the discussion. That's just my personal opinion. I will nevertheless respect the board and not go to the meeting.
I think it would be like one order for us if we did.
Yeah, we can, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go, I just don't plan on talking. I don't plan on sitting at the dais.
I'll still go, but I'll have a very hard time not.
Here, I think, in terms of the fifth grade, we still statement for being in the audience, we can never know this. Yeah, but I do think after that, that doesn't mean we can't talk to Terry.
No, I agree.
Actually, he needs to know what we want, what we all collectively want, but we need to come from one voice.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's a point. Freeman, I don't know Terry, we don't know what he's gonna say, we don't know where he's going, we know you made the comment that there's a lot of issues for a long time. I personally haven't had any awareness of the detail of what Terry's gonna talk to. Be interested to have some idea before the meeting, but I don't think is there enough time to come, we'll do a Zoom call or something,
I will, maybe what I'll, you know, I think it'd be okay for, we can give.
Set out
emails.
set out some bullet points, you need,
Some, what your concerns are, and I will also, create emails with them.
cause I know I was with Terry on the last sitting and all of it. And a lot of it was the same issues that we're having, campers out in the open, trash being thrown, building that's being built on and not permitted, nothing, just go out and build on the property. You know, so there's a lot of things that was that way, and a lot of it was the campers, you know, RVs just pulling in, not hooking up to anything. You don't know whether they're just dumping their sewage on the ground or they're hauling it off.
So I think a lot also, though, is to actually get the different departments to take action.
Yeah, and that was it, was like being able to get the health department to go in and say, hey, we got this, and this, can you guys go check it out? And bring back some findings out.
One, for example, specifically on health department, is we have in the past, we have attempted to say, well, we can't go on that property because we trespass. Well, we are going to, and I'm not trying to talk to Terry about, we are going to stress to the health department that per regulation 43, public county regulation 43, they are required to inspect and offer permits and those kinds of things. So they need to take action, and if they don't, they are not performing their duty. So those are the kinds of things that I think that he's going to stress upon, is that, the sheriff, both the sheriffs and health department especially, they need to perform rather than just be intimidated by the Michigan.
I think what, Mr. Chairman, I think what I'm suggesting, if he's going to go represent the county board, then we need to get Freeman up to speed in some fashion, via email or whatever works, so we, especially for them sitting in the audience.
I will trade email.
And, I don't know, Cream, if you see it, I watched the video when you all, when we had that last meeting, and observed it, so, here is Terry there in that meeting.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Trying to put a face to it. Put these two together.
Terry, of course, used to be, is the publisher of the book.
And he's wrote the book.
He has,
Richard.
it is now, but used to be Terry.
Okay, thank you. Got 2 minutes.
Let's move on. CCAAC, right, CCACC.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, to approve, the new construction at 1544 Bruce Road, 855, Jed.
Second,
Move in second. Questions, discussions? Let's go.
both of you, Sheriff.
Clint,
Yes.
Brim,
Yes.
off, yes, Ray?
Yep.
Triple yes. All right, no action, Jim?
No.
Any response from those more come on?
No.
It's probably about time we need to do something or another better out. Number 2. So what do we need to do? Just, what's it gonna be?
I think I have a good name better than. Running now before I usually post that. And for this.
Okay. If we're not done, yeah, so let's get that done within the next, will the board need to approve that, I suppose, so.
Or either we go out and
We can
the
just,
stuff that they put on our property and, charge you.
yeah, that's,
For the removal.
we don't, it's not really a covenant issue as much as it is a trespass issue. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second.
Move in second, any discussion? We're just.
Yes.